So, we're live?
Yep, we're live. Anyway, today's episode, we're going to be talking about Batman stuff. One thing that I always wondered, does old comic book ads still work? And we're going to go through like some of the crazy comic book ads that I found, I discovered. And some I just wonder and left with questions of what the actual fuck. So anyway, sit back, relax. We're gonna play the intro, and I'm gonna dig up some of the comic book ads. I found some in one of the Detective comic books that I bought called Detective Comics 603, which I found some of the ads, and I love them because you could tell like it was in the hype of the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman movie in 1989. So, anyway, let's play the intro.
So, let's start with the first story. The Batman. Timothy Chalamet, rumored to be playing Robin in the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie. Matt Reeves may feature Robin in the new Batman movie, possibly played by 24-year-old actor Timothy Chalamet. Rumor and speculations about the casting call requesting the need of circus skills. Circus skills are needed in Northwest England, states the casting call, and I'm opening up my bag of boards so I can get the book out. So those are the ad parts. So hold on. So circus skills are needed in Northwest England, states the casting call. We are looking for men and women of all ethnicities, age 17 and up, Northwest England with a circus skills, specifically fire dancers, fire breathers, puppet operators, and any other circus skills. Of course, fans of the comics know that Robin is Dick Grayson from the family of the acrobatics known as the Flying Graysons. So you don't need to put two and two together, you kind of know where this is going. Chris O'Donnell was the last one to play Robin on the big screen for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Rumors are that Dick Grayson will also was in the draft of The Batman that Matt Reeves wants to use Robin, who is definitely being set up. Through it is unknown that Dick Grayson is in the current draft script. I will say this, he may have as a cameo, like a cameo appearance where you know who he is, you know what's gonna happen. Type like, for me, I would rather see like Jason Todd in it, even though like when you say like I want to see Jason Todd, Robin, most people are like Red Hood, kill him, bring back Red Hood. That's where it is, like, you know. Most people are sort of like, I forgot to turn off the music in the intro. For me, sorry about that, I forgot to turn off. I thought I turned it off, so. For me, it's kind of annoying where people who are like, I want to see, Jason Todd, Robin, yeah, I want to see that. See his, rise and downfall and stuff. And, hold on. Yeah. Most people, think of, they want to see Jason Todd. They just want to see Jason Todd as this rebellious, emo, angsty, upset Red Hood who felt betrayed and lost and forgotten. That's the thing that kind of annoys the fuck out of me is most people, like, I know I'm going to be mean where I say the demographic, but the demographic of the emo teen audience is like, oh, you relate to Jason? I know what it's like being forgotten. Ugh. I feel forgotten and not wanted anymore. That's where they relate to Jason and all that bullshit. Especially the fucking Arkham Knight thing. It's like, everyone thinks like the Arkham Knight thing is like the greatest thing that happened to Jason Todd. It's like, bullshit. Jason Todd was awesome as Robin, in a way. Like, was he annoying? Yes. Was he angsty and rebellious? Yes, but that's pretty much any teenager. They don't listen. They don't want to listen. And the thing about it is, like, most people, they want the Red Hood thing, and it's like, Jason Todd as Robin was just as interesting as Red Hood. He had personal problems, and, he just didn't know where he belonged at, in this world. So, for me, I hope that they, they're using him right, like, in Titans, but they just sort of, like, forgot about, certain things. So, regarding Timothy Chalamet playing Robin and Batman through the Geeksome YouTube channel, offer potential insights. The source claims that a lot of Doctor Who insiders' information correct. Worth to mention that is that Matt Reeves is filming Batman in the UK. What's wrong with America? Can't film Batman in America? They filmed it in America. They filmed Dark Knight Trilogy. They filmed a part of Dawn of Justice. They used Detroit as Gotham, which was fucking perfect. Because if you ever looked at Detroit, it's like, it's kind of a shithole, but I'm not being mean to people who live in Detroit. But damn, you people have corruption. Rusty pipes and stuff, like, Detroit became a shithole because of politicians being dipshits. It's kind of fucked up. You also have Michael Moore, who's from Michigan, who complains about people's water, but yet he's a billionaire, basically, and he's not donating any of his money to help fix up the pipes in Michigan. It's like, quit. Like, Michael Moore's like, if there's ever like one person that is like I wouldn't say Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor is equally smart and slightly superior intelligence than Superman. Michael Moore is just like the best way to put it. Michael Moore is like the South Park interpretations, where he's like this obese fat guy with a megaphone yelling. That's pretty much who Michael Moore is now. He yells, bitches, and complains, and I thought of it. So, anyway. Let's see. YouTuber also talked about Robin and with Variety, with interesting enough how Catwoman Zoe Kravitz and the cinematographer Ben joked on Chalamet's Instagram that they would be able to watch the Oscars because of filming the Batman. Cinematographer also happens to work on the other films that Chalamet did. I'd be honest with you, I kind of see him as Dick Grayson, like. I mean, it'd be interesting to see, like, I don't want to see, like I don't want to see Robin in it. I'd rather see, like, Nightwing. I'd rather, when it comes to, like, Dick Grayson and stuff, it's just like, why don't you just jump to the Nightwing table? Like, what if he just, like, exists? Like, what if Dick Grayson sort of exists? And he gets inspired by Batman? Like, what if he exists and, has the money from the circus accident of his parents, and he sort of gets inspired by Batman and stuff. Like, what if, like, I'm just thinking out loud. Because it's like, if you sort of, like, watch the new Batman Adventures and stuff, but if you sort of, like, watch the new Batman Adventures, like, Dick Grayson sort of has his own money because the circus trust fund and all that, like, something out of it, I forget. I think they mentioned it in it. Like, he got, like, all his money from trust funds and stuff, like, from the circus, or Bruce gives him, like, a trust fund or something. I forget. Like, it's been a while since I remember it now. I remember it. I think in the episode where Dick Grayson tells the story to Tim about what happened between the relationship between him and Bruce, and Dick Grayson graduates, and he tells Barbara Gordon that he got the trust fund from the circus, and he takes the money, and he wants to get out of Gotham and be himself, and she doesn't want to do it. It's been a while since I watched it, like, and stuff. Anyway, one thing I did today, like, I remember in, like, last episode we talked about Batman the Animated Series. Like, we did, like, a long discussion of the Batman Adventure Continues, and I talked about this one comic that I have called Adventures in DC Universe, which is, like, sort of set in the Batman Animated Series universe, or the Timverse, as they call it. Some people call it, or the DC Animated Universe. And I talked about I had the comic. The one thing that I've been looking for today was the first issue of it. I have the entire issues of it. I have the second issue, number 2 of the Avengers in DC Universe, where it has the Flash and Catwoman. They have 2 different stories. And I've been looking for it, so I can't find the first one. So I know I have it. It's like one of those weird things. You have it, you know,
but you can't find it. Things like you know you have it, but you can't find it. So anyway, let's talk about Suicide Squad, or as Will Smith says, "Boy, Suicide Squad." I hate that movie. That's bad though. It's like I hate that movie, but I know everything about it. But Margot Robbie, after the disaster of the Birds of Prey being a huge disaster at the box office, with many blaming Margot Robbie, who is responsible for creating the movie, which I believe in a way that people who are starring in a movie shouldn't produce their movies. Like I don't know why, but I'm one of those people. But at the same time, you look at it, you're like, there's so many people who are involved in like shows and movies, especially TV shows, as a producer. Like Tom Welling became a producer of Smallville. Stephen Amell, I think, was involved with Arrow. Mark Harmon's involved with NCIS. I used to like that show, but I hate it. I hate that show. Like I used to enjoy it, but I just sort of end up hating it. Of course, Margot Robbie had like creative controls, and I think creative control clause in her contract for Birds of Prey. And we all know a famous person who had, if you're into wrestling, professional wrestling. We all know who had a creative control clause in their contract, which led to the disaster of fall of WCW. Brother. That ain't gonna work for me, brother. Yeah, brother, I don't think that's gonna work. Brother. Hulk Hogan, by the way, if you don't know that one. With many blaming Margot Robbie, responded to a fan's question on social media. If Harley Quinn has a spotlight in the flick. James Gunn responded, "She's a major part of the film." Shit. That's just my add-in. "She's a major part of the film, if that's what you are asking," Gunn responded. Each character gets however long they need help to tell their overall story to fulfill his or her individual arc. Another fan asked if John Cena is invisible, referencing the goofy Dave Bautista Drax joke from Infinity War. It has been said that John Cena replaced Bautista in the Suicide Squad as Peacemaker because Bautista was busy filming Zack Snyder's zombie movie, Army of the Dead. Gunn responded no. He also confirmed that the film is set within the present day. Similar to Birds of Prey, set images and videos from the Suicide Squad shows Harley Quinn, unlike her comic book counterpart, which should be no surprise for fans of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Nova comics from Marvel. Regarding Birds of Prey, the movie is utterly bombed at the box office, opening near 50% less than what it was estimated. It only has brought over 30 million. Only brought in 30 million. It's now a question if the movie will make any profit or even break even. Things are so bad that the theaters have gone so far to change the film's name to an attempt to be noticed by more moviegoers. Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn, Gunn has a further uphill battle on the bad taste that many fans have in regards to the first film by David Ayer, Suicide Squad, which is also blamed for the failure of Birds of Prey. It's thought since many of fans don't like Suicide Squad, they didn't want to see Birds of Prey. That's the thing about like Gunn. I'm happy like he sort of like changed the roster of the film. Like he sort of stepped in and like sort of like changed everything around. And I think that many people are sort of like happy with the changes that is made. Sorry, I'm just doing something real quick. I'm just thinking of something crazy. Anyway, back to the story. Suicide Squad gets released in August 6, 2021. Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, Joel Kinnaman, they all four return. Stephen Agee, David, whatever his name is, John Cena,
Nathan Fillion.
Still waiting for his one show to return. The Rookie, Pete Davidson, Sean Gunn, Michael Rooker, Peter Capaldi, Taki Walidi, whatever his name is, the guy who did the Thor movies. So, anyway, let's get to the other one. Zack Snyder teases Nightmare Batman. Zack Snyder took the Vero app. I had Vero, but I just never could get into it.
I know it's something that Zack Snyder's like into because he doesn't. I don't think he posts much. He doesn't post much on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or anything.
Darkseid uses the boom tube to port into the Batcave and kill Lois Lane, which sets Superman on the evil path where he becomes sedated by he becomes involved with the anti-life and blames Batman for Lois Lane's death. Batman v Superman also has a scene where it involves the Flash coming back in time to tell Bruce Wayne that Lois Lane is the key, is an attempt to stop the future nightmare world from ever happening. That scene was pretty fucking awesome. I remember watching that scene in theaters. And I remember everyone was like, I remember the entire theater was silent. It was silent. It was like quiet. Everyone was like sort of like stunned. What's happening? and didn't know what to think. And I remember just sitting there going like, shit, that was a Flash. And it was the most awesome scene ever, just to see that. See the Flash show up. Ezra Miller is awesome as the Flash. I can't wait to see the Flash movie and stuff. I'm a fan of the Flash. Like, that's one of my favorite characters besides Batman and Catwoman and stuff. Like, the Flash is just an awesome character, and it is so cool to see that scene. It's like Snyder plans for a cyborg nightmare scene involving Ray Fisher as the scene takes place in the Snyder Justice League, where Victor Stone plugs himself into the Kryptonite ship prior to the Justice League saving Clark Kent. While the Joss Whedon theatrical release didn't have anything back in December, Snyder responded, "Oh yeah," when asked if there was more nightmare scenes in his cut of Justice League. Hopefully the Snyder Cut will get released and we'll see these epic nightmare scenes, but current speculation offers that the Snyder Cut might be getting a release on HBO Max. I did about a Max on Twitter when they like released all that. I wrote on there like, fuck, what did I write? Let me look it up. I wrote like something like it didn't, like nothing to it like offers like I gotta have this. I need to buy this. I need to have a subscription to this. Like, nothing of HBO Max attention of like I need to get the subscription. Here it is. I'll be honest that HBO Max doesn't have me interested in getting a subscription. The Batman DC films, yeah, I have those digital. I mean, nothing stands out to me like nothing stands out to me going like I need this. That's what I wrote. Like, that was the thing about it. Like, nothing stands out to me like I need this. I need to get this. Nothing HBO Max stands out to me. Nothing at all. And I know everything's going digital and involving subscriptions and stuff because cable is becoming obsolete. Once Netflix and Hulu happened and HBO Go, it started the train of like everything's going to become obsolete. Netflix is almost obsolete, oddly enough, even though a lot of people are Netflix diehards with it. Going so far, I'm pretty sure tattooing Netflix and chill on her arm. But they're going to become obsolete. Like, Disney Plus was the first thing to hit Netflix pretty hard. And now the Friends show is going to HBO Max, where a lot of those idiots are going to go buy that because they want the Friends reunion stuff, which I don't know why. The Office is going to go away from Netflix. The Office is going to be on the Peacock network. I heard that name. I snickered. The Peacock name. I snickered and laughed. How stupid it is. I mean, leave it to NBC. I mean, they're nothing but crap. So, let's see what else happened. So anyway, let's see. I found this one on comicbook.com. Announcement of the image of Batman and Catwoman are pregnant has DC fans feeling some kind of way angry about it. And I wrote, these, I use air quote, fans complain about everything. Because, I mean, like, they're so angry that Catwoman's pregnant. They're angry. They're mad. A woman's pregnant. How dare they? Yeah, but these fans
complain.
Thing new. Complain about everything. If it's something new, they complain. If there's no change, they complain. Fuck them.
I'm happy with a Batcat baby. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the Batman Catwoman pregnant thing because it changes the landscape. I want to see the characters evolve. I want to see them grow. I want to see a new layer added to them. I don't want to see the same damn fucking thing that has been around for 80 years. I don't want to see it. I want to see something new. I want to see an evolving change. You know. By the way, the new Flash comic 750 is coming out, which will be $7.99 for the celebrate the 750th issue of the Flash. I cannot wait to read that. I'm gonna buy that book. And for me, I'm excited for the new Flash comic 750. That's a big deal for me, and I cannot wait. So hopefully they release it. The new image of Batman, the Snyder revealed the Nightmare Batman, the Vero image. It looks so cool. I saw it. I was just the new hello. They released a new image of Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman on Vero. Zack Snyder released it on Vero. The image looks so cool. Like when I saw it, I'm sorry. It's okay, love. I'm just rambling incoherently about things. We haven't got to like the big subject, which I want to talk about, which is comic book ads, which I am excited to go through because I found some of like the weirdest ads. You know those comic book ads where you see like I have this one, Batman, the greatest Batman stories ever told for $15.95. I got that book. I love it. It's a really cool book. It's really fun. So anyway, the image that Snyder revealed, it looks cool. I saw it. I had the the crying Indian where like one tear comes down. I had that because it was such a cool image. Like I remember seeing the Nightmare scene in theaters, and I remember like my nieces and nephew, my second oldest niece, my oldest nephew, my uncle, my dad. We all went to go see this movie. Everyone was not excited for it. I was like fucking pumped. I was wearing my Batman versus Superman shirt. It had like the boxing poster image. The Dark Knight versus the Man of Steel. I was excited. I was just like, this is one movie I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I had to sit through the Avengers. I just sat there. I was just like aggravated because I wanted to see this movie. I've been waiting and waiting. And I remember seeing the Nightmare scene popped up. I remember I stood up. I was like, oh shit. And I remember the theater was like quiet. It was quiet. It was silent. Nobody didn't know what the fuck was happening. But I knew. Like, I knew what was going to happen. And you see Batman
step out and he's holding a gun, rifle.
He's wearing his trench coat and the scarf things are covering his face. And he has the gun.
He doesn't get sand or dust in his eyes. And you see like the Omega. You see Darkseid's symbol, the Omega symbol. Building's knocked down. It's like a death.
It's like something out of Mad Max. It was like destruction. And
I remember just going like, this is so awesome. I remember
just sitting there.
I remember my dad's like,
what the fuck is going on? I was like, shh.
Just like, shh. This is getting good.
And I was just like on the edge of my seat watching this scene.
And it was so amazing. And all of a sudden when the parademons come up, I was just like, oh shit. I was like, did you see that?
Yeah, what the fuck are those?
Parademons. Dark side. And I was just like so like in this scene. I was just excited because this movie was different. And it was something different that I wanted for a long time. I enjoyed the whole, do you know Shrama? Do you know Shrama? Something that
fucking ending of Avengers. I just sat there.
I was just sitting there going like, just sitting in the theater going like, that scene. I'm just sitting there going like, what the fuck? Just, and all of a sudden like, and all of a sudden when Batman wakes up and you see like this energy, this ball of energy, this lightning, everything, and you hear Bruce, and Bruce is like, look, you know, Lois is the key, you were right about him. And I remember after that scene, everybody was like quiet, and I was like, I tapped my dad on the arm. I was like, that's the Flash. And I was just sitting there going like, I'm like geeking out over all this crazy stuff that was happening in this movie. And that was the thing about a comic book. That's what's so great about, that's the thing that should be made about a comic book movie. I mean, you need all these references and hints that these characters exist. And everybody got so mad about it. Everybody got mad about the whole movie. And everybody's like confused about it. It was like, you probably never read a comic book. That's the point of a comic book movie. You're supposed to know these characters, the universe, the world, everything to it. And I know that a lot of Marvel movies to get into comics type of thing, or complete to comic books. But that was the thing about Dawn of Justice. Like when I saw it, I was just like, I know every single image. And I remember just talking about, this was before the podcast. I wish the podcast existed back then. How, the nightmare world is like this alternative parallel. If they went this route, and Bruce Wayne, Batman, sort of has to like gather up the entire Justice League, trying to find each member, and he finds the Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, and prepares him for this way of like avoiding what happens. And in this way, like, by the way, if you watch the movie, if you watch Dawn of Justice, the scene where they carry Superman's coffin, the famous scene where they carry Superman's coffin in the city and you see the jets fly over. If you notice, like, when they fly over and there's like one that goes up in the air, it's Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, in that scene, showing up at the funeral where he's just, like, flies up in the air, and he's like, fuck this scene.
Like, I love that. I was just like, that's
Green Lantern. He's saying, fuck this funeral.
type of thing. Like, that was a scene that I remember just like how how it was. Even in my mind, like everyone was like, who was the woman in bed with Bruce Wayne? I was just like, I know who that is. She wears a leather cat suit. That's who I know who that is. That was in my mind where I was just like, that's Catwoman. Like, that's Catwoman in that scene. So, I mean, you know, that was just like, for me, that was it's a fun movie, even though, like, a lot of people are now, like, you know, jumping off the wagon of the Batfleck and hopping on the Pattinson wagon. I'm sticking to the Batfleck films. Even though in Justice League, he sort of had that, not in Justice League, but Suicide Squad, he sort of had that expression on his face where he was just like aggravated. Ben Affleck, you know? That's the thing that's always like, you know, I always wonder, like, what if? And some of the scenes, some of the stuff they revealed, like concept art and stuff involving Batman, Joker, I remember just going like, man, why didn't they just do it? Like, why did they not just go for it, pull the trigger, just do the scene stuff? But it always bothered me.
But do I think they'll ever make the Ben Affleck Batman movie? I honestly don't know. I would love to see a Ben Affleck Batman movie. I do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really do. I really want to see
that movie. And the thing about it is, I know this is going to be crazy and stuff, but it's just like, if Warner Brothers
to take a risk
with HBO Max,
why not do it?
Why not do it?
I mean, you can get
Ben Affleck. Oh shit! Sorry, I'm like moving this.
Where I'm opening up the panels. I'm opening up the pages. I'm trying to get to like this comic book ad.
Your microphone is It's moving a lot. I'll quit moving. I'm like hyped up on bubbly. I've been drinking the strawberry bubbly, so kind of jacked up on that one. So anyway, how is it now? But anyway, I mean, I need to get a new microphone later on. Just saying. Anyway, it's fixed. Yeah. Anyway, like they could like if Warner Brothers and HBO were like really wanting to put out their name of HBO Max and get people like me interested in buying it, because of course I did write on Twitter that there's nothing just like I gotta have it, I gotta buy it, I gotta have a subscription for it. Nothing to me is sticking out that I just need to get this. Like nothing's catching my eye where I'm like, I got a subscription. I gotta pay the $15.99 subscription. Nothing to it. Make me want to buy it. But if they did go, you know, hypothetically, they somehow the Snyder Cut, the vision that Zack Snyder wants to do, the CGI animation scenes that Snyder wanted to include, like died and all these things. If they do all this, then I would buy it. I would watch it and see what happens. But if they went like, you know, we like Ben Affleck's script, we really want to do this Batman film, they could do an HBO Max budget, you know, big budget movie of a Batman film, and they could have like, I'm gonna say like, if Ben Affleck really, you know, wants to play Batman, they could get Kevin Smith to direct it. And I'm sure Kevin Smith would be like, I'm on board. I'm sure that Kevin Smith would direct Ben Affleck's Batman movie. and tell the story that Ben Affleck wanted to tell with this Batman adventure. You know, I'm sure he would do it. I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would make a good budget
Batman film. I'm sure.
Like Joker. The Joker movie. It's sort of like raising the bar in standards. Like, you know, not every comic book movie has to be over a $250 million budget. But I'm sure, like, if Ben Affleck made this Batman film that he wanted under HBO Max, I'm sure people would do everything they can to see it. If they put it, like, out in theaters for a limited release, people would go see it. Then when you put it on HBO Max, people would jump on board and watch the movie multiple times, and I'm sure you would get new subscribers in the process of it. It could work, you know. But now I'm doubtful Ben Affleck would do Batman, because reading, you know, like what happened in Justice League and all that. But I'm just saying, like, it could be interesting. It could be interesting to see it. So anyway, I found these comic book ads and stuff. Have you ever go through, like, comic books, like old comic books, and you see all these weird ads and stuff? Like, muscles in 7 days, dynamic tension, start giving results you can feel and your friends who will notice. Get giant muscles and all that. Some of these kind of these ads make me wonder if they exist still. Like, I kind of want to do a YouTube video where I'm, like, filling out all these things and see what happens, and, like, order all this stuff and see if it really exists. For example, this one: 10 issues, comic books, for $5. Thousands of comics, tons of comic news every week. Comics Buyer's Guide circulation. My dumbass neighbors honking their horn. Their car alarm went off. Part of me makes me wonder if these ads still exist. Like, Comic Collector. It's a store, by the way. 30% off of comics. Comic books for sale. 250,000 in stock. Complete Marvel and DC groups from 1935 to 1988. Also, TV guides and TV movies items. TV guides, if you don't know what it is, it's something that they used to sell, like, before DVR, before TV guides on, like, Hulu, cable, Netflix, before you scroll through all your Netflix movies and stuff and finding everything you want to watch, or YouTube. TV guides used to be scheduling for TV scheduling. Like, you know what's on for tonight and tomorrow and throughout the week. It was something really cool back in the day, and now it's, like, obsolete. Like cable. So, I love this one. Comic grab bags. This one's really interesting. It's Batman. Free movie poster info with order checks, money order, cash, MasterCard, or Visa. Get your free Batman movie poster if you buy a 100% cotton Batman t-shirt for $12.95. This makes me want to try this ad, because I want to look up some of these things. I wonder if these stores still exist, because this comic book came out in 1989. I'm gonna look up, see if these ads still exist. I'm gonna look up Pacific Threads in California. Alright, let's see. I kind of wonder if they do exist. No. It leads me to like a post office in California. Alright, let's see what happens. Let's look up the 10 issues. This is in St. Lola, Wisconsin. Oh, my cat Lola's a saint. Not really. My cat is not a saint, I'll be honest with you. She is mean. She is mean. And she is mean. My cat is mean and evil. Like anytime I sit recliner and I recline the chair back and put my feet up in a rest, my feet up on the footrest, she will attack my feet for no reason. Like she will grab my left foot with her 2 paws and chomp down on my toes. Like she's a vampire. And stuff. Like my cat is mean. And Leela woke up from her nap. Alright, let's look up this one. Anyway, let's look up this one. Comic books. Robotech and Japanese animation. The Comic Gallery in San Diego, California. Over 200,000 comics in stocks and $2 in our giant catalog price guide. Nintendo, Sega, and Atari. Oh my god, this ad, I have to read this one. I had to read it. It was in small print, and I had to hold up the comic and read it. Are you ready for this one? Girls' Thoughts Revealed. A 1989 survey. How to attract girls. Discover what girls really want. Learn dating secrets. Only $3. Use postage and handling. Send to Gold Spread Publication, Amarillo, Texas. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's see if there's any others, because usually they have more than one. Let's see, comic convention. Let's go through this one. I like these old ads. They have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where Raphael's peeking out of the floor. Mr. Bubbles Tales. Get your favorite bubble bath t-shirt, sweater, and watch of Mr. Bubbles. Mile High Comics in Denver, Colorado. Oh my god. I know Mile High Comics. And I bought a comic book from them. And they overcharged me for a comic. One comic book for $10. $10. And it was an old comic book. It wasn't it's not old like Amazing Fantasy 15 or Detective Comics. The first appearance of Batman, I think it was Detective Comics 27, 28, I forget. Man, it's been a while. It's been a long day, so. Anyway, I bought an old, not an old comic, but I bought a Catwoman 1990s comic with, Jim Ballard did the artwork and all that. $10. Well, it came up to like total of $13. $13.99. $3.99 for shipping. $10 for that fucking book.
It was in good condition, I will admit. I mean, it's, CGC. It's I would say a 7.9,
$13.99
for that book. $13.99, and it was just, and ever since then, I will never, anytime I look at comics and I see like Mile High selling it, I'd be like, no.
But it was just like,
it's kind of ridiculous because it's like they overcharge books, and I think a lot of people got so mad. Like, I remember the guy who owns it stated he will not go to another comic book convention because nobody will buy his books. It's like, yeah, no one's going to buy your comics because no one's going to spend over $100 for a fucking book, that you're, putting in high grade of like this. This is why I'm selling it, because it's a high graded book. The craziest comic book ad I ever saw, and I looked it up, online to see if it was really real, was buying a monkey, a live, breathing, happy, smiling monkey. And this guy wrote on, I think, Reddit or somewhere, and he talked about buying an actual live monkey, which was like $18.95. Which I think today it's like, if you add interest and everything, it's like $125 or $130 for a monkey. So this guy bought this monkey, and it was delivered in a box with a, the monkey had air. The monkey was alive. And the monkey attacked, the monkey ran around and he tried to grab it, and the monkey bit him, and he had to get like 27 stitches in his arm. So they were selling a live monkey that came from South America. and the thing about it is, like, when you read that, you're like, that is insane. And it's like, it makes me wonder if like the parents sued the comic book publisher or the person who put the ad in the comic, because you don't see these ads in comics. You don't see like grab bags, supplies, like,
damn, comic book bag for $3.95 and boards for $2, man. Shit, like nowadays it's like $10 for each. Alien movie poster, Predator, Batman. Let's see what's into Batman. Batman Year One. Issue 1 is at $5. 2 and 4, $4. Hardcover book, $25 for the hardcover. Soft is $9. Batman Year 2, $5 for 1. 2 through 4, $4. I was a kid. I once went to a zoo with my parents, and there were monkeys there, and they grabbed my shirt so hard and caused me, cause I had a banana on it. I never encountered like a monkey. Like, the craziest thing I ever like encountered at the zoo
was this
loud bird followed me. And because I pointed, I was like, oh, look at that one, and it just started making loud noises. And as we walked, it like followed me. Like wanting my attention to look at it. And it was just like the funniest thing ever.
Not only that, but I had like one time I had like a penguin, because we at our zoo we have like the penguin exhibit, and I love the penguins, even though it smells like bad tuna. I just love going through there, not only because it's cold, and it feels really good in there when it's cold, but I love penguins. I just think penguins are amazing animals and stuff. But not only that, but I love the lions, like the wildcat exhibit, or the big cat exhibit now they call it. Like there was like
Jaguar.
a jaguar cat that just like
Kept it.
me and stuff. But the penguin, because
I
of it, and it's one who was like swimming, stood still and looked up at the camera so I get a photo. And after I got the camera, it just splashed its water on me. Like that was like the funniest thing about it. Yeah. But
the
cat just like kept its eyes on me, like watching me walk. Then it made like this giant, like loud howl, growl at me. So that was the cool part about it. Let's see. Night of Beasts, Batman comic. Death in the Family book. Batman Annual 11, Alan Moore. Son of Demon book. The Greatest Joker Stories Ever Told. Greatest Batman Story. Bat book. Batman comic poster. Basically, they sell books and action figures. So that's a cool thing about it.
anyway, let me.
We'll get to that book. Hold on. Stretching because I'm old.
Alrighty.
Let's see, before we start, let's see what's other crazy news that's happening. Because I realized we reached an hour point and we have to. Alright, we read my favorite story of the book, and we talked about the ad of Super Sons. My favorite story of Titans Giant number 1 is the mini golf course game story, which is like my favorite because I really enjoy that story. Like everything about it was just amazing. Oh my god, this story, I forgot this one. Let me read this one, and we'll read the Titans book, and we'll. I forgot I read this one today. You ready? Let me get a drink real quick. Bigfoot, the Yeti. Bigfoot raids a marijuana
Shed and menace.
That's right. Bigfoot raided a marijuana shed. A shed that grows marijuana. The marijuana. The pot. Kush. Marijuana. This story cracked me up. I was like laughing hysterically. And I was just laughing. Because would you imagine Just imagine that the Yeti, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you call it, was it, rated it, because it made me think, like, was it in need of pain relief? Like, maybe it just wanted to smoke a blunt and just chill out, like, I mean, when you imagine, like, Bigfoot talks, and you're like, I'm telling you, man, I exist. But a lot of people, man, they freak out. They don't, I'm walking through the woods, man, just like chilling in the woods, getting the shade, and just wanting to be free, man. Like let my hair down, just be free. When you just imagine that, like a conversation with Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's like, man, I got the munchies. like, like, can you imagine like how hilarious that'd be? So anyway, let's get this story. I want to read the story because to me, I was laughing. All right. All right, this is the article. I first want to state the following. I believe this to be absolutely truthful account that I'm about to describe. In fact, I mentioned and discussed the incident on Phantoms and Monsters 14 research team right after I talked to the witness. With that being stated, here's the account. Let me make this page wider so I can read it. I was contacted by BR. BR. B. Arthur? I don't know. Anyway, I was contacted by BR on the telephone. The witness had several questions about Bigfoot before he told me what he encountered. The reason for the questions was because that BR did not believe in the phenomenon until he had an experience. He seemed reluctant to talk about it at first, but was assured that I heard many hard-to-believe Bigfoot encounters over the years. Little did I know I was about to hear the most remarkable encounter. BR is a licensed personal use medical marijuana grower who resides in Minnesota. The great location of the incident is in Carleton County, a forest area near the Kettle River. In order to avoid theft of his plants, BR secured a 10-foot by 12 growing shed on a piece of property he owned. I had to burp. Sorry, I had to burp real quick. The shed was built out of reinforced cement blocks with a vertical steel gritters placed on every 6 inches along the inside wall. He also had a heavy steel bolt door fitted with a large tempered lock. The inside of the shed was 8 feet from the ceiling to the floor, with heating, humidity control, grow lights, etc. The entire setup was very expensive, including electrical service that he had wired from the main wired in from the main grid. Needless to say, BR did not want any persons messing with his plants. Don't blame him. According to BR, he kept anywhere from 15 to 10 plants at one time. Damn. 15 to 10 plants. Basically, it's like a pot shop. Sorry. By the way, they did. I'm not making this up. They opened up a pot shop in the town I live in, right next to a Subway, which I'm thinking, like, damn, great area. It's just, I mean, no, I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana, but I'm just saying, it's a great setup, right next to Subway. I drove past there and I looked and I saw like this big ass fucking bong pipe. I was like, shit. That's crazy, man. Anyway, 15 to 20 plants at one time. He was also growing for 2 licensed marijuana users. The system had been doing well for a year or so without any incidents. Then, a few months ago, BR traveled to his growing shed and immediately noticed that the steel vault door had been tampered with. There was scratches all around the outside face of the door, and the jamb had been slightly bent from the cement blocks. It was difficult for BR to open the door after unlocking it. He figured that somebody had attempted to force their way in the shed, but were unable to gain access. None of the plants were tampered with. That's a good thing to hear. So BR fixed the door with additional reinforcement. Everything seemed to be fine for about 3 weeks. But then there was another attempt to break into the shed. This time, a large hole was created through the cement wall, and one of the steel graters had been pushed out
of its mooring in the concrete floor. Whoever gained access was able to reach the shed and pull up a few plants. Motherfuckers. Sorry, that was my
input on it. BR was confounded by the effort taken in order to gain access. There was snow on the ground
and indicated that there had been significant activity. Sorry, I'm just distracted that he took a few plants. But BR didn't notice any prints or other evidence. Not even a shoe print or tracks for any equipment that could have been used to create the breach. BR then decided to scout out the location. He repaired the wall, then decided that he needed to set up campsite nearby in order to catch whoever was messing with his property. He was ready for the long haul. BR set up a large tent about 30 yards from the shed, brought enough supplies in order to keep him comfortable for a week or more. He also lighting around the shed. First off, or a camera. You could put up a camera. Right. After a few nights, everything seemed quiet. Only movement that he noticed in the forest. One visit from a black bear, an occasional deer here and there. Then one evening twilight, he heard cracking sounds coming from the direction of the shed. There was enough light to see movement. Then, through the lights around the shed, had not come on yet, since it was on timer. BR focused in that direction, in that distance, about 20 yards. He could see light escaping from the shed on the on the trees. I'm just reading like this crazy word. For far walls, something breached the shed. What he witnessed next, complete and utter shock to BR. I wish they would just give him a name instead of initials. Stepping around the shed was a 8 to 9 foot tall Bigfoot carrying at least 6 plants. Damn, dude. Bigfoot wanted to get high that night.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Would you imagine? like, like, imagine that, like, Bigfoot, like, like, that would be crazy. Like, Bigfoot puts on, like, some fog hat, you know, lights up a blunt, then you hear this. You just hear
background, Bigfoot just, you know. Like, that'd be crazy. You just hear fog hat, slow ride. Bigfoot rolls up one, he just like lights it and he goes and tells the other Bigfoots, yeah, man, scare the fucking campers. Is that why Bigfoot's like all of a sudden getting like beef jerky and stuff? Is because he smokes a fucking weed? just saying.
like I'm just sitting there, just I was just like reading this, like
hysterically at this story of Bigfoot carrying 6 plants out of the shed, like, and stuff. So anyway, all right. As BR watched, he observed the creature literally place one of the long stems of the plant into his mouth and strip off the leaves and buds. He watched Bigfoot chew the contents while walking away towards the forest.
it was just. I asked BR if Bigfoot acknowledged his presence. He answered that the Bigfoot looked at his direction for a second, then turned and walked away. Probably like,
I want you keep up the work. He said that it did glance back at him one more time and continued moving forward into the forest. BR then noticed other activities and sounds coming from the surrounding area. He is positive that there were several other Bigfoots during the incident. They were probably waiting in the forest like, did you get the weed, man? I'm sure that's what the other Bigfoots were asking. Did you get the weed? You did? Good. BR's description was of a massive frame with a head covered in dark colored hair. The face had a sparse hair, that the features of the face was noticeable. BR mentioned he could literally see the whites in its eyes, which seemed to glow a bit. I'm sure from the weed. Oh shit. Let me skip forward. Let's see. I asked if there was any opportunity to take a photograph. BR said his phone was turned off, of course, and he had to save the battery since he was going to the forest for several days. Dude, you could have got like a pocket charger. You could have got a pocket charger. You could have gotten, a portable like pocket charger. They got like ones with like a charger to like in the flashlight. Like you could have gotten that, dude. Like you could have gotten a pocket charger. The incident occurred 2 weeks ago, and BR since has been building another grow shed at another location several miles away. He did repair
repair the previous shed and has begun to place trail cameras on the location if he's determined to gather evidence, either photographs and or physical. This does not. He does not have one of the stems that was stripped, and hoped to have it tested for DNA or other saliva. Saliva or other.
BR and I did plan to keep in contact. Hopefully, he could provide proof in the near future. Shit, I would love to see proof of that. Weedfoot, that's what I would love to see. I want to see it. Bigfoot, smoking weed and all that. Anyway, let's get
To how about I
Titan stories for Monday, because
there's like three stories left. I mean, after this one there'd be like, I think, 3.
so I kind of want to save it, because like this is like the first, like this is not like the only
Titans book I
and I don't want to end it quickly. So I'm going to save this one for Monday, because I kind of want to savor what's left of the stories and stuff.
and I did enjoy.
Teen Titans Go episode that aired, which was Scouts, where Robin leads a scout. Batman scouts, where the Titans, they encountered the rogues.
Catwoman was in it.
From Dark Knight Rises was in it. Two-Face, Joker, Ivy. Didn't see Harley Quinn, so if I remember correctly. But anyway, it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it.
And I love the little badge.
Cat parts.
That was a good one. So, episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a fantastic job with the story. So, anyway, that was one thing I enjoyed.
Teen Titans Go episode and stuff. I wish they would do the mini golf one as an episode, because I love that story. I really want to see it made into an episode, because you got Riddler, and Riddler deserves an episode.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
3D, sorry, gotta click off that one. Let's see. How are you holding up since Tuesday? I've been holding up good. I've been holding up pretty well. This week was kind of crazy and stuff, so yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this is a comment. Yeah, I went through the crazy thing where you lose something and you're trying to find it and you can't find it. Then a week later, it reappears. It does. That irritates the shit out of me anytime it does that. I've been
because I kind of wanted to read this. I did find the Space Ghost Coast to Coast book I bought at the comic book convention, and I was looking for the other one I bought, which was Adventures in DC Universe, number 1. I can't find it anywhere. I've been kind of wanting
to go to that and start, reading all of it, but yeah. So I can't find any of it because it's annoying as shit to find something that, Anyway, let's read. Whoops, clicked off of it. Trying to. I want to read the time travel stories and stuff, and well, I want to read see what else is in the news for DC and stuff. Like, oh, here it is. This is a big deal today. Dan Didio has announced he will no longer be publisher for DC Comics. It's been announced that rather he quit or walked away, pushed out. We don't know. We may never know. But Bleeding Cool can confirm that Dan Didio, publisher of DC Comics, is no longer publisher of DC Comics. He is gone from the company as of today. Whatever happened fast. Bleeding Cool confirmed that with a number of sources inside and outside of DC Comics that Dan Didio is gone. Rumor has that what happened from the higher ups of Warner Brothers and results of high staff turnover at DC of late. Issues with editorial and publishing plans. Dan has been figured as the man responsible for that, but that is right now nothing more than a rumor. Dan Didio's departure at DC Comics has been reported by a number of times in the past, including a decade ago by Nikki Fink at Deadline, but he has always hung on at the time. I report the opposite, and we clashed today. It is my turn to report the news. Dan has been a public figurehead at DC Comics in a way that they never really had before. He crafted himself into becoming a legend in the comics industry, a risk taker, and behind the industry-changing events such as the New 52, which New 52 was his baby, and wanting to change the Rebirth back into like pre-New 52 and stuff. But he's also been instrumental in seeing DC Comics move from a comics publisher into a content hub media, which he is a genius for that. He kind of deserves credit for that one. More than anyone else today, DC Comics is for all intent purposes Dan Didio Comics. Now with the change, that means Jim Lee is also the publisher of DC at DC Comics, and will take the lead in months ahead. As for the 5G and the new DC timeline, championed intentionally by Dan Didio, your guess is as good as mine. Dan Didio joined DC Comics in 2002 as vice president editorial, as well as a writer for Superboy from issues 94 to 100. He was promoted to vice president of executive editor at DC Comics in 2004, and on 2010 DC Entertainment president Diane Nielsen named Didio as co-publisher of DC Comics along with Jim Lee as co-publisher as well. He also writes the Metal Men ongoing series for now, which means Dan Didio is no longer in charge of DC Comics. Which is, in a way, kind of sad, but at the same time, they need to make changes. They need to sort of forge their own empire. Which, by the way, Forge of Empire is not our sponsor for this episode. I don't have a sponsor, so oh well. If you are listening, if you want to be a sponsor, then go ahead. I'll do anything. Not really. So, what's one person says? This is the first episode I never heard you drop an F-bomb throughout the entire episode. I know, I'm trying to tone down a bit. It's kind of hard to tone down the show. But, yeah, anyway, Dan Didio is no longer in charge. I mean, it's a good thing because they need to, like, sort of change things up, and I think with Jim Lee being Jim Lee publisher for now, I think is a smart plan. If I was DC Comics, I would hire Rob to be the publisher, because I think Rob Liefeld could, do interesting things for DC. But if they get like Brian Michael Bendis as the publisher, then they are fucked. There, I dropped an F-bomb. They are that. They are doomed. Because Bendis believes that everything should be back in the good old days of how things should be, and it's like, really, it shouldn't. The thing I'm going to miss the most about Dan Didio in charge of DC Comics is that he was like the big pusher for DC Comics Giants books, like the Batman Giant, Teen Titans Go Giant, all these giant books at Walmart and stuff. Didio is responsible for that.
He did push for that, which is a shame that he is going to be gone, because it kind of makes me worry, like, is there going to be more DC Giant books for 2020, or is it going to be like 2020 is going to be like the last year and the second year of the Giant books? It makes me wonder, and it kind of makes me worry a bit, because
these
I enjoy buying them. Like, anytime I can't go to a comic book store, I will buy a Giant book, which is like $4.99, $5 basically, plus tax. But it's the thing about it. It's like, I'm going to miss that if they do away with that. Like, that is the thing that sort of shows people, like, the option to buy a Giant book. So, and I think Jim Lee did a video of it. I think Jim Lee was sort of, like, supportive of it because, you know, well, his Batman Hush was on it. So, for me, it's,
you know, it's sort of the sad thing about it. So anyway, the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batsuit revealed on set pictures. That's right, Robert Pattinson was on the movie set of Batman in the Batsuit. I'm gonna get a look at this. Let's see what we got. Come on. Holy shit. Dude. Oh man, that is fucking awesome. Oh, that is awesome. Holy shit. He looks like some of the fucking... He looks like a demon. Shit. He's driving a motorcycle. And he's in the graveyard. Holy shit. That is fucking awesome. That is just fucking awesome, man. I love it. I love the Batsuit. I am pro. I am for this now. I love it. He's driving a motorcycle in a graveyard and he's being chased by a motorcycle cop. That is like something out of like... That is like something out of Batman Year One. I love it. I dig it. I dig it. That's awesome. Anyway, so I guess that's the way to wrap up the show. Anyway. Anyway, I dig it. I love it. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up the podcast. So anyway, I'll be back Monday. So we will talk about crazy things. So anyway, thank you for listening. And we will, read the Teen Titans Go book Monday. I kind of want to do it Monday because I kind of want to savor the last stories that they have in this book. So hopefully they'll publish it. Hopefully they'll continue the DC Giants. Like I said, I recommend them. They're fun. They're great to read. And anyway, I will see you guys Monday. So enjoy the weekend, y'all. You're amazing. Thank you, love. So anyway, enjoy the weekend.